Hi. It's very nice to be here with you. I look forward to meeting you all personally, and I admire that you're here today. And I love being next to these two. We've worked a lot together. And I think to start, the example of us sitting up here and talking about leadership, but having worked so much together on so many things, hours, angst, responding to community, not only interest, but community pain, is something that is the first quality of leadership that I think is the most important, which is how to make it a we instead of an I, and instead of a me, and instead of a you, and cross-pointing. I have the opportunity to be in government, right? And ironically, running for government and getting into government is about steering government towards better solutions than becoming a bureaucrat, right? Than becoming somebody who just turns the crank every day. And so every day I strive to find opportunities to either agitate enough that I can go after things that are gaps in the community that aren't being resolved, or on the other side, there's times where it's going in a direction that I don't like, and I got to get loud. And maybe it's not about my vote, but it's more about my influence. It's more about the framing. It's more about how I engage. But more than anything, it's always about the we. And so I'll start with just a couple key characteristics, and I read the ones that I saw back here, and really a lot of it resonates. First thing for me is that the world is run by those who show up. I saw that on a bumper sticker one time. The world is run by those who show up. And there's nothing more true in this world than that. It's the ability to take a desire or maybe something that you don't like that you see, and instead of being a critic, is being an activator and standing up and saying, I want to be a part of the solution. I admire people who get frustrated and raise their voices, and usually that's out of fear, right? How is this going to impact my life, my family, my checkbook, my property, whatever it is. But it is rare indeed that I find, especially in these days where the megaphone for critics is so powerful, so far-reaching, so vitriolic, and so impersonal in many ways, by using online and hiding behind posts and pseudonyms and or beliefs and ideologies. It's very rare indeed that I find a large group of individuals who are willing to take that criticism and be an activator, to not just be an activist, but be an advocate, and then to step forward. One of the biggest things I think about leadership is I tell people is that at a certain point in my life, I decided to live on my toes rather than my heels. And I think a part of that is this understanding that every time I sit in a meeting, every time I'm with you, every time I go into a boardroom, every time I meet with somebody in the community, I have an opportunity to sit back like this or lean into it. And I think in these times where people get far too lost in the angst of the now and the fear of a bad future, which is something that we run into a lot, the doomsdayers. Everything's going to be bad. You're whimsical if you talk about world peace these days, right? If you get into those kinds of conversations, you have a choice, not just of what you do, but how you hold yourself. How you hold yourself in that space. So for me, it's very important because I've been in many groups like you're doing, and I've also will continue to pursue to do that, because it's a never-ending journey. Whether you're mid-career, late career, early career, it doesn't matter. This is about creating space to be intentional. And so that's one of the biggest challenges that I face each and every day. I oftentimes tell people that my biggest pet peeve is what I call strongly held, lightly informed opinions. Which is a great way to say, man, you sure are fired up for somebody who doesn't know squat. Or who doesn't have, I'm not saying you're ignorant, doesn't want to ask a question and listen. Truly listen, right? And so I love being challenged, I love to accept challenges, and I love being with you here today. So thank you for being a leader. A long time ago, somebody told me that, you know what leadership is? And I said, what? He stood up and he just said, this is it. That's it. It's like every day you do something. So no matter where you're at in your career or in your personal life, the fact that you're dedicating time to be here and to know that this is a transformational process and not a transactional one. This isn't about time management and just delegation of duties. This is about how you transform as a person to live and understand that willpower is the only thing that moves this world. And how do you use yours? Thank you.